I want to talk to you about the last problem in your lab number 2, which is number 16 in here. So you take a look at number 16. It goes back to that same concept again. Let me read number 16 on page 120 for you. It says a milk carton can hold 3.78 liters of milk. Each morning, a dairy farm ships cartons of milk to a local grocery store. The cost of producing 1 liter of milk is 38 cents, and the profit for each carton of milk is 27 cents. Write a program that does the following. So, let me talk about the only thing about this problem. I just want to let you know there's a couple of ways that if you look at that first paragraph, there's 3 very, very important numbers there. They're what's called constants. And right now, at this point in the stage in the development of programming, I'd like for you to put all your constants inside your int main, because you don't have any other functions outside of this thing. Later on in chapter 6, when you write other functions, putting it in this region right here, there are 2 places that you can put your variables, your constants in here. You can actually put your identifier in this region. This region is called the global region. And this region inside is what's called the local region. So I like for you at this stage, because there's only one function, it's called main, I like for you to keep it inside the local region, just for the purpose of the scope, the security of the particular variable at the same. If you put it into the global region, sure, it'll work with it. But as far as security wise, you don't have any other function that accesses it, so why don't you go ahead and keep everything inside your local region for me right now with it. So 3 types of constants with this thing. The first one we're going to look at is we're going to declare, I'd like for you to declare your constants here. There's 3 of them. You start with the reserved word const, and you're going to give it a data type, which is a double. And the first one that you have to always, when constant, you have to give it the name of the identifier. So carton capacity, and that is what, 3.78. The second constant is also a double, and you're going to tell it the cost to produce 1 liter. You notice this all have to be uppercase, very important. So constant double, and the next one is going to be profit. What do they call profit on carton? How do you like that? Okay, that profit is 0.27. Okay, all these are all double with the same. Okay, now I need for you to go in and allocate this memory for me, to kind of like allocate what's in here with it. So the first thing is you have to prompt the user to enter the amount of milk in part A. Allocate memory, or declare your memory here. Your first memory, I like for you, you have to prompt the user how much milk they're producing that morning, right? So why don't you just give it a double milk quantity. Okay. The second one is what? Is the number of for carton, and I'll put the number of milk cartons. This is part B. I'll put the number of milk carton needed to hold the milk. Part B tells you to round your answer to the nearest integer. So that's going to be an int, and number of, just give it a identifier of call milk, I don't know, carton, like that. And the next one is that they ask you is you have to figure out the total cost of the milk, right? The cost is going to be what? It has to be a double total cost of the milk. Okay, I'll help you with this thing. So double is the profit. That's what you have to figure out. Okay. You need to prompt the user to input the what? Input the, in the morning, part A, basically, is the amount of milk, right? So that has to be stored in the milk quantity. Input the milk quantity. Okay. For you to prompt that, read that in, give it another line with the same. You have to prompt some information in the same. Let's talk about the calculation. Alright, look at this thing. Look at this calculation right here. Excuse me. First thing is you have to figure out the number of carton milks with this thing. So there are a couple of things you have to figure out is the milk quantity, okay, which is this right here. You gotta take this identifier right here, this variable that you have. I'm gonna have to divide it into the milk, what value up here, the carton capacity, right? So let's say if I produce like 50 liters, I have to divide it into 50 into this, right? And I would round that off, calculation. So I need to figure out the number of milk cartons. Alright, let me help you with this thing. So figure out the number of milk cartons with this thing. Figure out the, let's see here, number of milk cartons. This is what you need to figure out. Figure out the number of milk cartons. Alright, so to figure out the number of milk cartons, what do you have to do? You have to take the take the milk quantity. Take this milk quantity, like I said, 50 liters, for instance. You're going to divide that into what? The carton capacity, which is this right here, right? And you need to round that off by adding what? How do you round that off? By adding a 0.5 to that number, right? Then you need to do a static cast to an int. Okay, so that's how to an integer. Okay, so that's how you figure out the number of cartons with this thing. That's the first formula. The second formula is that you have to figure out the total cost of the milk. Right? So how do you figure out the total cost of the milk? You take the milk quantity, right? The milk quantity, this milk quantity, by take the milk quantity, again 50 liters that you, for example, you make that day with it. You multiply that with what? The cost of 1 liter. So you multiply this with the cost of 1 liter times the cost of 1 liter, and you assign it to equal to the total cost of the milk. Now, you have to figure out the profit. So the profit is what? The profit, you take the total number of cartons that you have, right? This right here. You times what? You times the profit. You times what? Number of carton times the profit on the carton is this. Okay. So you figure that out. That's the general formula of all this. Last part is I need for you to output this to the screen. Okay. So output what? I need for you to output the number of milk cartons. Alright. So tell them how many milk cartons they are. Right? And I need for you to tell me the total cost of the milk. And I need for you to tell me what is the profit. Okay? So, as much as I would like to continue and help you with this, the rest of this thing, I leave this for you to tell me the 3 piece of information that's all in part B C, and D, basically. So this is part B, C, and D. Thanks.